There's no way he gets this, by the way, right? Look at that. We get like 6 points a turn. He's just done. We get win on even. Today we're going to be looking at a very special deck. This is a request from our friend Headfirsttree, aka King Hanj, aka the actual owner of the Platinum Patrol channel, for which I am the channel manager and make all the videos. Now, the reason why we're doing this is I thought it'd be interesting. This is an example of a deck where we don't have every card in the game, which is a limitation we're usually not having to deal with because we have every card. So we have a little bit of a limited card pool. And the request was to make a deck with Avallac'h Sage, but not traps, specifically. So what do we do then? Well, I thought it'd be kind of fun here to try and play some of this engine overload in Scoia tael. So here's what we're going to do. We need targets for Avallac'h Sage to make him good, right? So, two good targets, Portal, Feign Death, top end of our deck here. Portal's going to help us get engine overload, get 4 provision cards out. Feign Death, help with the short round, because we don't need Feign Death necessarily to win the long rounds. But it's really good to help out in a short round, and we already need a couple of the elves for movement synergies, so I thought we'd put this in here. It also synergizes very well with Gezras by creating a bunch of tokens, so in a medium-ish round or a shorter one, you can still get Gezras value instead of playing him for like 5 or 6. That's the idea. And then we're going with a Milva Sharpshooter because we're playing Guerilla Tactics. She's definitely way worse than before. However, I know for a fact Headfirsttree has Milva Sharpshooter, and his card pool is limited, so we're going with this. The other thought here is actually, I think it's not a bad choice. I'm not sure how well it'll turn out, but the idea here is we have Milva Sharpshooter with her damage. You can play the offensive duel on a sentry, and then get the extra damage and get her back to doing 5. Even doing 4 should be plenty to deal with several engines, and as we have basically no control tools, I thought having Milva Sharpshooter with the leader charges and a couple of offensive movements would give us enough to maybe deal with the opponent's stuff. Very simple. We have a World Decree for searching. You could play Onomancy, but the World Decree is cheaper, and we really don't need the Echo too much, because we thin our deck quite a bit. So yeah, you can Decree into Sage to get whatever artifact you need, so you can get any card from your deck. It doesn't just have to be, well, you can get any card except for making a bomb. Because yeah, you can get any card by World Decreeing as long as you have Avallac'h Sage in your deck, so that's pretty good. Dig a castle for the movement synergies, create a Cat Witcher of the various types. Treant Boar is an interesting consideration. I went with him to help set up Milva Sharpshooter, and I also know that Headfirsttree has his card. So, for a fact here, I do know Treant Boar is interesting. If he gets off 1 damage order, it's not great. You really want him to be doing his engine thing. But with our deck, we have a lot of movement, so we can probably get the 2 damage pretty consistently. And we also get movement synergies, so that's nice. But yeah, I think Treant Boar is a good card. Remember when people used to say this is the best card in the game? That was a conversation people had a while back. That is like a while back. It's not the case anymore. We have Gaten for movement. Gaten's interesting. He gives you a big swing, and preferably on things that do stuff when they move. It does make you place your sentries and mentors in very specific spots to maximize his benefit. So keep that in mind. Sometimes you might play like a sentry or a mentor without thinking that, oh, I'm going to have to Gaten this later. And Gaten comes much worse when the round gets near the end and you can't move everything, so playing him, you have to play at a good time, but if you get a good Gaten off, it's really good. I went with Ida for the Purify. We can actually deal with stuff behind a defender without tael removal, because we have 6 damage from Guerilla Tactics, and then that summons out Milva, so a Guerilla Tactics charge does 4, then you can use our charge to do 6, that removes most stuff, and if there's an 8, you can hit it. So some stuff's row locked that you protect behind defender too. So I thought we would be pretty good with the Purify. I wanted the Purify, and the extra Vitality is not bad. You could go for the 4 provision elf, but I didn't do that because we're running Portal. I want exactly 2 4 provision cards in our deck. We have Malena to move every turn. Helps with the movement synergy, helps setting stuff up, helps set up the Gaten rows. Really helpful. The Vrika Brigade. I went with this for, normally I'd run one of these in this deck, but I added a second. The reason I added a second one is because I think it's actually not bad. It's decent removal with leader charge, right? So if they open with a 4-point engine, you go Brigade, leader charge, move the Brigade, it does 4 damage. Pretty nice. It's also really good with Gaten, so it's not bad having extras. And with Dig a Castle and Malena, you can get some engine stuff going, especially Malena. Double-Thon Sentry, we're playing a movement, so this is no-brainer. We have this card. It also triggers our Feign Death along with the Brigades and the Ida and the Milena. Those are our triggers for Fate and Death. We have 6. It's pretty decent. 2 Cat Witchers for their movement and damage. Pretty obvious. We have Cat Witcher Mentor. Cat Witcher Mentor, if you get a big row, he plays for a big amount of points, and you have stuff moving. So if you, as your Cat Witchers move in and out of the row, as Korean Boar moves in and out of the row, as Milena moves in and out of the row, you get the idea. Each one will boost him by 1, so it becomes a pretty decent engine card. It's even better with Sabertooth, because you flip the Sabertooth, and each time you flip the Sabertooth, it counts as the card appearing, so he works with that. I didn't run the Sabertooth here, we're going with the Milva instead. You could run the Sabertooth probably inside the Milva slot, and then bump these Making of Bombs to Nature's Rebukes. Not a bad choice. And then we have the 2 Making of Bombs to help with Milva and control. Mega Scopes here we'll put on Cat Witchers or Mentors or Sentries, whatever we need. It helps us get more engines. We're playing heavy engine overload. We want 2 long rounds basically every game. This helps us in the long round. And then we have the Dryad Matrons. These are 2 4 provision cards for the portal. Yeah, that seems like pretty much the deck. It should be interesting. And I'm curious to see how it does. It definitely won't be the strongest deck. Heavy control should punish us, but there's not a lot of the heavy control. I believe we do get out engine valued by some decks. For example, Rain deck would out engine value us. But hopefully we can have enough damage to deal with the Messengers of the Sea and we'd be okay in that matchup. But I think we're fine. Now, let's go see how the deck does. Should be a lot of fun. Alright, let's find a game here. Looks like we're going to be going up Inspired Zeal. Going up against Inspired Zeal, I mean. This should be interesting. We should have a good matchup here. We have decent control. A lot of their stuff's going to be engines, most likely. It could be the Siege, potentially Siege, in which case we can move some Avallac'h stuff. It might be Mages, in which case, again, we can move Avallac'h stuff. I think we'd be pretty good there. So I'm feeling pretty good about this one. This hand also looks nice. We have our Portal. I don't want to draw too much because we could draw into our Matrons. So let's go with this. We have the Bomb for a bit of control. We have the 2 guys. We can get our Avallac'h Sage to pull out our scenario if we need it. Very flexible hand. We can go for the 2 Megascopes on Cat Witchers, but I think this will be a longer round. Open Portal. Okay, there it is. It's going to be the Mages. Now, do we deal with this? The answer is yes. We could Brigade it. I like the Brigade move here, because it also lets us get a Dryad Matron, start boosting an extra point there. That's not bad. We could have moved it with Leader Charge and killed it with Milva, but this way we get an extra point. We also don't reveal our Milva quite yet. Oh, he's going to go straight into this. Interesting. If we bomb this, we lose our Milva. Which is annoying. But do we have another way to kill it? Gaten does 2 damage. That is a 50-50. I guess we just lose our Milva. I think it's worth losing our Milva. Let's keep this order. It'll get boosted. He has to go for... The only way he has to kill this right now is going to be a Boiling Oil. And if he goes for Boiling Oil off John Natalius, he can't get Amphibious Assault off of it. They usually also just run the 1 Boiling Oil, so it's a good chance he doesn't have it. Okay, this is going to be John Natalius for it, though. Yeah, okay, it was worth a shot. Worth a shot. However, I think losing our Milva is worse. Milva in exchange for killing off his guy, I think is worth it for us. Let's make another Dryad Matron. He can't win this round. Obviously, you never want to lose your Milva like that, but it's not like we did it by accident. We knew that was going to happen. I think it was worth it. Dryad Matrons, yeah, he's going to pass. He passed. So yeah, we could have killed it a couple other ways, but not without sacrificing, I think, both our Leader Charges. But yeah, if you don't like the Milva and the Making a Bomb, like I said in the beginning, Double Nature's Rebukes in exchange for Sabertooth is a pretty decent option as well. Because even if your Sabertooth stops getting value, because we have units in both rows, you get value from the Cat Witcher guy. This guy, Mentor. We drew a second one. It's not bad. But I think I'd rather have something else. Maybe not. We have a long round. Might get a big row. Put the Megascope back instead. Okay, so we degree for Avallac'h Sage to get out our scenario here. We're going through most of our deck's provisions, but he has no setup on the Apprentices, the Patience Mages, which means his round will be very weak because his deck is based on that. Right, he's going to have Alumni spam, but he has no Alumni setup, which means this is a good round for us to push because his deck should be pretty low value. And as far as our hand goes, we have Double-Thon of Sentry, we can do that. And then we have a whole bunch of movement going on. We're going to have a whole bunch of engines going on, and we will get a ton of points this round. Let's see what he does about it. He's going to have to do something about it. Preferably this Sentry. Alright, so he's going to go into Amphibious Assault for Donmir of Troy. Interesting. Let's just ping the shield off in case we need to do something about this. And we'll see if he tries to put another mage behind it. If he does, we kill it. If he does, we can kill that thanks to our brigade here. Yeah, so we'll move the defender. We waste 2 damage on this, but killing off this guy is very important here. So we'll fire the 2. And then we will kill this. That's gone. We can't kill the next one. Well, not immediately at least. But he needs a lot of time to set up, and he will not get Zeal on the Alumni, which is pretty important. The other thing is, if you notice here, here's Leticia. I was going to say, we can get a ping and then kill off something with our Waylay as well. But we'll just play it here because I want to get these boosts coming from the Double-Thon of Sentry. And he has Leticia, but nothing with Patience. We'll just try and out-engine him here. Gezras is coming up. He's going to have a Selkirk to kill Gezras.
I hope we can trust.
There's a luck. I think we just create another Cat Witcher. Or we can play the other guy and get the big boost. Let's go for Castle. Castle can help us protect something next turn if we want to go for more. For the second one. Leticia takes a hit. He still has no Patience Mages. But yeah, with the, there's the Selkirk we mentioned. That means it can't hit Gezras. And he's played the lock for Margarita. I'm pretty sure our Gezras is unanswered and we get a ton of value. We'll do one more Cat Witcher first, just to check. As always, we want Gezras to give us 2 boosts, right? Which means if you're playing with 3 cards left, he boosts you twice. I don't care about the extra 1 damage. So it's probably better just to wait a turn. We'll move these. We can gate in them back to the range row or something. There we go. We got Gezras.
Yes.
Actually, we'll finish with gates in here. We could have moved more optimally there. I was thinking about Gaten too much, but we got a GG. Game 2, that first one real quick. Yeah, at the end there, we should have moved differently with Stiga Castle, considering our next turn was Gezras. But I was thinking about Gaten too much there, about where we play him. Kind of an awkward card to fit in at the end of our round, but we were up by so much and he had nothing going on. We sold out all the Alumni stuff that he didn't really have much of a shot there. I was kind of just speedrunning the end of that game once we got Gezras down, because I knew he wasn't going to kill it. Alright, Handbuff here. Wait, not Handbuff. This is, what am I thinking about? Hyperthing, Mill, something like that. Maybe Clog with Colgrim. Who knows? Who knows these days? Tactical Decision is the leader ability that kind of can play anything. I should have... Okay, when I was doing the warm-up games for this, I kept putting Avallac'h Sage on the wrong side of Portal, and we just did it again. I said I wasn't going to do it to myself earlier. We just did it. We put him on the other side, so he gets +1 point here. So we're down a point. Unfortunate. I do this every single time I play Portal. Not sure why. Okay, he's gonna lock this. We could purify it. But if we purify it now, we don't get an immediate bonus. Like, it doesn't move and give us a point. So we're not in a hurry here. Let's go for this. Get this guy going. Test if he has Assassinate or something like that. Some kind of damage to kill this. And next turn we get out our second Matron, and then we can purify, and the Matrons will double. Well, the one that comes out from the portal won't boost, but we could purify that turn.
Got ya, you bleating son of a doe.
So it appears to be a Clog deck. That's going to be annoying. Do we do this now? It gives us a point. Boosts our Treant Boar. Milva's going to be kind of hard to play around here. Or play with. We could use it to kill it, this guy. Get the +1 boost. Pull this out. I'm pretty sure we have time to decide if we want to Milva this guy next turn. Okay, he does have it. However, we have the scenario in our hand, and we can now play an extra elf this round. Maybe we just kill this without needing the leader charge. Let's try that. We'll just go for 2 orders here. And then we'll purify this, and then we'll have both of them going now that we've removed the lock. Perfect. And let's see what he goes for. We have a lot of engines set up. We can use this board to set up damage for our Milva if he plays anything a little bigger. Feeling pretty good about this round. Fourth core. There's the Roach. So he's clogging and thinning at the same time, so possibly a 2-round Colgrim deck. What do we want to play? I want to play a Sentry. We want this Sentry. It gives us such a boost to every end of our turn. We don't have anything else, right? The Royal Decrees really define Avallac'h Sage if we need one of our artifacts, so I don't mind using it on a Sentry here. Unfortunately, it's going to get locked. We already used our Purify, but that's fine. We thinned our deck again. Okay, so now he's going to try and get his engines going.
My men know the meaning of sacrifice.
I'm trying to hold off on these leader charges just in case he's playing some kind of 2-round deck and we need them to take the second round. But perhaps it's time to play one here. Hit this with the boar. Let's go Brigade, actually. And then we'll hold off on the leader charge here. We could have used it to kill off his... We should have used the 2 damage charges. There are 2 damage from the boar and this Brigade to kill off his Adept. But I was planning on leader charging the Adept, and then I changed my mind at the last minute, and now it's alive. That's what happens when we try and play a little quicker here. I got a lot of comments saying we should play more games in the videos and play faster, so we're trying it here. Looks like it's not doing so great for us, but that's okay. That's okay. But yeah. I did get quite a few comments saying you put fit more games in the videos, play a little faster. So we're just trying that out here with this new deck. Probably shouldn't be trying that with a new deck, but it is what it is. Still won the round, ultimately irrelevant. A lot of these little misplays people make throughout the game, like a lot of times they just end up being irrelevant. It's just the times that you lose because of it, that's when you feel bad. And those are the ones you remember. We had a really good engine setup that round, though, so I wasn't too concerned. Here, thing is, he really seems like he's playing some kind of 2-round deck, so we're going to go right for it here. And we've got 3 leader charges. We can use those to move Gezras to boost every turn. We can use those with the Brigade for control. We can use them to damage his stuff with the Sentry. And we can use Milva.
How am I to catch it, Master?
We can Milva this with an offensive Sentry. I don't mind that choice. I don't mind having that in my deck either. I think we will do that. We'll reveal the Milva here, And we'll just start controlling all of his cards, get a big point advantage lead. And then Milva comes out, we fire her order. Get rid of this. Very nice. And now he's going to have to realize that, oh, he's playing control. What am I going to do? Because I think he's playing a Colgrim deck. But we actually thin a ton, so Colgrim's not great versus our deck. Which is really nice. Like, we Portal, well, Avallac'h Sage thins 1, Portal thins 2, Decree thin quite a bit. And then we can finally get this Waylay off for the extra unit. Would have preferred that to go to the range row, but that's fine. Next turn we play Gezras. Gezras will give us boosts. Probably move the Sentry first, so that it boosts the Gezras. That wouldn't be bad. Oh, Rience. Okay, his deck makes sense now. It's Rience Hyperthing with a bit of Clog. There's the Sunset Wanderers for a bunch of points here. Okay, so I don't actually... There could be a Colgrim still, but I don't know if it's a dedicated Colgrim deck. So I'm not super familiar with this. Unfortunately, we did lose our Sentry. Let's just move this for the extra point. He's probably short on control outside of a, what's it called, Coded Weapons, and he's not going to Coded Weapons Gezras. This? Okay, so here's the thing. Our mentor here is going to get reset by Rience. It's the reset, right? So it doesn't matter how big it is. Normally here, it doesn't matter where we put this at all, right? It doesn't matter because he's going to reset it with Rience. If you put it on the far left, Gaten moves it first, by the way. So whatever is on the left, Gaten moves first. You put the mentor on the far left, Gaten moves everything, and then everything gets boosted. So the guy would get +7 here. Thing is, yesterday someone played Ragus, the Drain Ragus on me, and they were playing Nilfgaard. So we're not going to make this guy super big, because I think he was using this leader skin. I don't remember the name. I don't remember his name. I did get Ragus drained the other day, and it was someone using this skin in Nilfgaard. I don't know if it's the same person, and we're just going to play around it, because outside of that, I think we've got this one. The reason why we're doing this, by the way, is because he has, like, we play Gaten, he can set it up and then order it. I'm not sure if this is a common thing, or if we're just being exceptionally paranoid here, but we're going to do it anyway. Pretty big move here. Okay, his drain would be 11 here, which would be 22. We could survive a 22 drain, but if this had an extra 7 on it, can we survive a 18 drain to get 7 more points? I don't think so, because he has the Rience order. Okay, we're good.
No,
Unnecessary paranoia. We're still up by 20, though. We should be good. There's the -10. He needs 10 points. There's a Coded Weapons, like we kind of thought he had, but didn't use on Gezras. GG. GG. A little bit extra paranoia there. Game 3 here. Okay, this person, Handbuff. Handbuff should be interesting here. We do have a very good round 2 that's long to force out all the buffed cards. So I'm not too concerned here, really. Should be should be interesting. We have the Feigned Death. We also have access to the Portal. So I want this Matron back. We won't draw the last card because we draw the other Matron. We can't go for our Portal play. What we want to do, and this time we're... Yeah, so we're going for Portal. Potentially, probably safe scenario for round 2 with Gezras. No Gezras round 1. And then the Portal with Gezras will be our long round 2 here. Let's just think. And then we're going to play the Sentry and all that good stuff. And we should be pretty... I did it again. Portal goes on the left side of Avallac'h. Guys, just learn from my mistakes. I was talking too much about the future. Gotta focus on the cards you're playing at the time. Yeah, we wanted to put that... Lost a point again. It's probably irrelevant, but it feels bad. Reason we didn't boost with this tactical advantage here is if he has a big removal, he removes this. I'd rather... Like, he's not going to have... Usually these people don't have Nature's Rebukes in small removal cards, right? They usually have like a Sheldon. Maybe something else. But usually don't have any removal. So I'm not concerned here. If he does have a removal, and it's a Nature's Rebuke, like he's a 1-off Nature's Rebuke, I'd rather boost the Sentry or something instead. Depends what he does here. We could just boost it next turn. Because basically, if he has a Rebuke, I kind of want him to play it right now. And not on the Sentry. Okay, there's the Defender. He used all of his buffs right now. So potentially we could force them out here. Well, we can't force them out here. We'll go Sentry. And then let's boost this. It'll keep the Sentry to 6, and I'll keep the Sentry alive. Could have boosted it last turn, but I kind of want to check for a Nature's Rebuke. If he plays one there, we kind of know he's running it, and he might be gone. Otherwise, we have to keep in mind he could still do it on Gezras. Okay, he's going to go for the Mega Scope on the Mahakam Defender. Interesting. We'll go with this. Probably. We do not get a point from our Matron here. That's okay. That's okay. We have a really big point set up on the range row. I think he'll have to pass after our next card, because our points per turn will be getting a bit ridiculous. Which is good, because we need to force out all these buffed cards next round, and hopefully we get them all gone. There is her, whose name I suddenly forget. Without clicking on it, I'm going to remember. Dunka. Stunka. I don't know how I forgot that. Sometimes I just randomly forget these names. We can go with the Milena. Really good value here. This should secure the round, despite all of his engine cards. Look at this point value. We'll try and kill this off. I don't think he has... Well, he probably actually does have a way to boost it on the board. Otherwise, he would not have gone for this. So, let's see what his boost is. Mahakam Ale. Okay, that makes sense. Wait a minute. No Devotion. We're not facing Torque here. I don't think. Yeah, no Torque. You wouldn't play Torque in non-Devotion. Right?
Yeah, I work for the police.
You wouldn't do that to me, would you, buddy? I don't think we gotta worry about that. No big Torque finishers here. I say that, but I know he's running Torque, and that's why I'm just subtly making fun of the fact he's running Torque in non-Devotion. Now, my opinion of that is kind of irrelevant, but I think it's really weird to run Torque in non-Devotion. There's no way he gets this, by the way, right? Look at that. We get like 6 points a turn. He's just done. We get 1 on even. But he's running Torque. And you know how we know he's running Torque? So we played his Mahakam Defender, is boosted, it was at 8. And he only boosted it by 3 in his hand, which meant Torque had to hit it with a boost. So he's running Torque. That's his finisher. Remember, this is non-Devotion Torque, and he got lucky that he drew it in his hand. He must be running Cursed Scroll as his stratagem, otherwise I will question him even more. But, yeah, Torque non-Devotion apparently is a thing this guy is playing. And he got lucky and drew the Torque. So, we're going to push all that out still. I don't really want 2 Megascopes. The cards are actually better than the Megascopes, unless you need multiples, because the Megascope takes a turn to make it, so you lose a turn of value. I'd rather get another one of the engine cards, but I think we'll keep this for now. Our deck doesn't have a ton of great cards in it. There's our Feigned Death.
Do you hear?
Yeah, so, non-Devotion Torque guy over here. I won't make fun of him too much. We make a bunch of weird decks on this channel sometimes. Like this one. It's interesting. I did think about it, by the way. I did think about non-Devotion Torque. But there's the 12. The thing with it is... Yeah, it's too inconsistent, even for me. Okay, so he's going to have a Sentry. He's going to have a lot of movement value here. And we don't have a lot of ways to deal with this. We didn't even play Milva this game. Yet. Probably not going to either. But we have really big Gezras plays. By the way, this does mean he has the option for Heatwave, which is why I'm very happy that he did not Heatwave this scenario. It means he doesn't have it. He might be saving Heatwave for Gezras, honestly, but I'm pretty sure this scenario would be better for him to Heatwave. The reason why is if he Heatwaves this scenario, he doesn't have to worry about the Gezras because he kills off our unit generation, right? Scenario creates a bunch of units. And he stops the value. Okay, he's got his own engine going. I think we want to do the... We'll go for this right now. And Gayten's going to be kind of awkward to fit in here. We're going to have to use Stick a Castle to set it up, probably. But we can move the Brigade twice. That's not bad. And we'll have to Megascope, probably Catwitcher next turn. And then go Gezras with 3 cards left. That's my preferred time to Gezras, as I said before. I'll let you boost twice. His own Stick a Castle for Catwitcher.
Too slow.
We will go for our Megascope here. It's very unlikely that his Catwitcher hits our Catwitcher twice in a row, especially considering we have 6 units on the range row, but he might, and I would be pretty sad if he did. Because that means there's a chance he hits it when it moves to the melee row, and again, we don't want that to happen. But that would be a fairly long string of probability for that to happen. Well, not that long, but it's pretty unlikely. You know, I thought it was pretty unlikely, and there it is. Whatever. We could move it to boost it, but I think we want those moves for Gayten. We go Gezras here. Gezras boosts him to a 2, still in range of the Catwitcher.
No point in showing mercy.
But if we move him with a leader charge, we have to double move him or we're losing Gezras value. So we'll just accept this 50-50, and if he kills it, he kills it. I think we want these leader charges for something else. Okay, there's the Smuggler for his Torque again. So he has one really buffed card and then Torque. He got the 50-50. We lose the Catwitcher. It's fine. We can Gayten, but we're not going to. We'll move our cards around a bit here. We could move 3, then Gayten them back. That's not bad. Maybe it hits the defender, so we can get our Milva Sharpshooter doing something. That wouldn't be bad. Yeah. Let's Gayten these back.
Judge me? How
Do this. Fire off a bunch of damage. And then we move Gezras back to the melee row. We'll move this guy for 2 damage. And then we move Gezras. We could have waited a turn to use that 2 damage on our Brigade, but I think he has a really boosted card here. Okay, I'm a little confused by that choice, but that's fine. He probably doesn't realize we can move Gezras back to the melee row. But like I was saying here, the reason we didn't go for the wait on the Brigade is because I thought he'd have a really big card here that'd be boosted. Then we'd have to worry about, what's it called? His, like he'd play it and not be uneven anymore. So I was worried about. So we went for the Brigade early. Probably, in hindsight, not the best choice. Okay, there's the Torque. So all of his boosted cards are gone. I have no idea why he's doing this. I would have saved that Stick a Castle for next round, because that was unnecessary. But, whatever. We go to a short round 3, and we both have awful short round 3 decks. But we're going second, which gives us a big advantage. Because we all probably have some movement with damage cards. Okay, Making a Bomb's a nice one here. So we can answer his first card, right? It's going to be Sheldon for 6. Bomb to 6, so we're good. 6 with the Milva. The reason it's such a big advantage here, because he probably has cards like Catwitcher, and then if we play ours second and moves and hits his guy, and then ours moves and dodges, really good. So there's the Gezras. We go Catwitcher here. We hit his Gezras. It's going to be pretty good value. It's going to be close, though. Right? Gezras is going to have another point, so it's going to play for 6. So he had a Sheldon that played for 6, a Gezras that played for 6, and now a Catwitcher that plays for 6. We are able to beat that because our cards played for just slightly more, and this will be a very interesting end to this game after some very impressive long round points. GG. So what do I think about the deck? What would I change? Well, it was interesting and it's a lot of fun. The engine, you can get a ton of engines value from the stuff like Catwitcher, Sentries, Mentors. It's really interesting. I don't think in the end that Milva Sharpshooter really works out in the deck. Unfortunate. I wasn't sure she was going to anyway, so we'll cut her in the making of bombs for changes. You know, we have two options here. They're both pretty decent, and, well, let's go over them real quick. We have two options. We have a high provision slot left from Milva Sharpshooter, and we have two low provision slots. Now, what I do think we want is control, so I want at least one Nature's Rebuke. And then this is where we get to the dilemma. We have two high-end options. We can go for either the... Where is the Sabertooth? We can go for Sabertooth as an option for a bit of damage and early round carry with control, but we don't have that much control, so Sabertooth probably won't get more than like 1 or 2 turns of damage, unless we're using leader charges, which we don't really want to. But then again, we get Sabertooth value from the Catwitcher Mentors changing, so it's not a terrible choice. Yeah, it's not a bad choice. We can go for that early. We do have movement to control where our opponent's stuff is, so if they put 2 in a row, we can move them to different rows. So, one option is Sabertooth, which is a pretty good option. So you go Sabertooth. One option is Defender. If you want to protect your guys, this is probably the option I like the best. And the third option would be the Heatwave. So, those are the 3 choices for the high-end cards. Up to you which one you want to go for. I think I want to do the Defender here. So yeah, Defender, Sabertooth, or Heatwave are all good choices for the last card here. I like Defender the best. He gives a second unit, can protect our guys. That's pretty good. We'll go with Defender, and then add a second Nature's Rebuke. And if you go for Heatwave, you have to cut another provision, so this Rebuke I would probably make into a Demeridium Bomb. Making a bomb is fine, and you can get the extra 1 damage from this Sentry, but that requires you to move to an empty row, and the thing with making a bomb is it's better in decks with a ton of control, because you will pretty consistently have an empty enemy row. Here we don't have a ton of control, so if we wait till later in the round and we want to kill something like turn 3 or 4, we probably can't get the 4 damage from making a bomb, so I'd choose Demeridium Bomb, and you have 6 reach with a leader charge, but I think this will be a little better. Milva Sharpshooter was an interesting experiment. Didn't turn out super great. That's okay though, I think this is better, and it's a fun deck. Hopefully our buddy here, Headfirsttree, likes it, and he'll let us know. Maybe he'll even do a stream. By the way, he does stream sometimes. Usually he plays Elder Scrolls Legends. He's the Elder Scrolls Legends expert, and I make all the Gwent stuff. Usually use his decks for Elder Scrolls Legends, because he's pretty good at that game. Still waiting for me to get back in the top 10, but whatever. Maybe we'll get in the top something sometime again as well. But this is the deck. Another viewer request. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Made a little different this time. We limited ourselves in terms of the card pool a tiny bit, but I think we still ended up with a pretty decent deck and did actually quite well with it. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed. We'll see you next time.